Welcome to Dear Friends
and Dead Ends podcast.
My name is Ashley.
My name is Cody.
Cases may contain graphic material as well as explicit language. Intro music, Welcome to the Hell Zone by Spooky Black Vague 003 Remix.
All right. Welcome to episode 16.
We're fucking back.
Yeah, bitch. 2 weeks later.
But not for them, for us.
Not for them. Yeah, I haven't talked to him in like 2 weeks other than text, so yeah.
She's been very sad, missing me.
So much. So I hope everyone's been well. I'm trying to think of what I need to update everybody on. New Zealand tuned in. I think that happened in the 2 weeks. So we didn't really get to announce that. So thank you, New Zealand, for tuning in.
Thank you. Kiwi?
Yep.
Is that a thing?
It is, actually.
That's not like a offensive thing, is it?
I'm pretty sure it's not. I don't think cakewalk is either. And by the way, I was definitely right.
Yeah. No, you were
definitely right. It was.
I mean, it was fun to make you think it was racist and like have you be like, "Oh no!" But
you were full of shit the whole time.
Oh no! I genuinely I looked it up and it was like didn't seem great, but you were right.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
Also, we need to acknowledge we have 3 patrons on Patreon now, so I want to say thank you to Cory. He gets his first announcement. Yeah, so you got to change your song now.
Cory, Bobori, Banana, Fana, Fofori, Hori.
And then also Kristen and Amanda.
And Kristen and Amanda, obviously.
Yeah, so thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. And speaking of that, once we have enough patrons on Patreon, we're going to do those other high-profile cases like Jean Benet and a few others. Cody, stop doing that.
Okay.
And then I would say once we have, what do you say, like five people that are doing either the $5 or $10 tiers is when we'll probably really start doing those high-profile cases on Patreon. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. That sounds fine. That's good.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up cutting the theories at some point because it's not as great as I imagined. I still want to do conspiracy theories.
Well, I think you know what we could do? Ooh, I'm a fucking problem solver. All right, okay. So maybe not this week. But what we should do is, if we want to continue with the conspiracy theory things, we don't know about the conspiracy theories until we pull them from the bag at the end of the episode here, and then we can read up on it for a little bit, for a few days, and then we can talk about what we discovered on it Thursday. Because it's very hard to be like, hey, this is a conspiracy that's been going on for 70 years. Go ahead and research it in the next 30 seconds while still talking to the 4 people watching us on Instagram.
Right. It's not as entertaining, and we definitely understand that.
It's not great.
It's not. So
the Titanic one was fun.
That one was fun.
That was a home run one.
That one worked out super well. But yeah, we'll probably end up doing that.
We're growing pains, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know much about them. I never grew much, but I hear that growing is painful.
But you're compact. You're more durable, right?
Yes.
Sure.
I'm like a little brick.
So I think that is basically all of our announcements, but I don't know. I'm impressed that we've made it to 16 episodes, and I think the audio is finally where it needs to be, which is really important. And I think once we're in person again, we've got it figured out that we should be okay, which I think is going to be next week. So we'll definitely get it figured out. But we'll get right into it because I know a lot of people hate chit chats. So not our people, but I know people in general hate all the intro stuff, depending.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's on I mean, I like it on podcasts and stuff when I listen to that. I don't like it on recipes when I'm trying to figure out
Oh, I know.
Or if God forbid you have to look up something to if you're looking up CPR instructions, and there's 16 paragraphs in front of it, just like, when I was a young boy, I wanted to save lives. Growing up in Kentucky. And it's like, no, you fucker, I need to know how to do CPR. Which Aretha Franklin song do I do the rhythm to?
Exactly. Yeah, no. For sure. There are certain times where it's not needed, but personally, my favorite podcast, I love listening to them talk about pretty much anything, even if they're just bullshitting about their lives. Like, I love it endlessly. So, if
do you appreciate that you were like, hey, let's not chit-chat, and then I completely got us off topic again?
Oh, I don't give a shit. Like, because you and I can talk about anything endlessly and quite ridiculously. It's these people who are going about their lives attempting to get through it for us to try and support us that are like, let's not, you fucking idiots. Like, let's talk about something you've actually researched for once.
I mean, if they're coming to us for help getting through their life, they're in a bad spot anyway.
Oh, I'm saying, no. They don't need our help. We need their help. They're supporting us. But they're like, do I really have to? Do I really? And we're like, please.
We appreciate your begrudging love.
We do. We really do. As we get off topic 37 times in an episode, whether we're talking about key parties or I don't know,
or
whatever
key
else.
Parties.
Fig Newtons, by the way, fuck Fig Newtons. I still stand by that. I did a poll, 55% people agreed with him, which I think is bullshit.
I mean, Fig Newtons, they're not criminally bad. Like, if someone was like,
I just have no interest.
Hey, here's a Snickerdoodle or a Fig Newton, I'm not going to be like, oh, fuck yeah, give me that Fig Newton.
Right.
But if someone was like, hey, if I had to eat only sweets that I was okay with for the rest of my life, I feel like Fig Newtons, that you could do worse.
Perhaps, for some. Perhaps.
I mean, I don't feel like that's a solid case for anything. If you're out there, Fig Newtons, please endorse us. Please, yes, if you would sponsor us.
We'll give you mixed reviews.
What I meant to say was Fig Newtons are simply the best treat I've ever had in my life.
Fake Newstons.
All right, I did appreciate that when you texted that to me. Fake Newstons. That's
Well, yeah, because you're like, they get such a bad rap. Ashley is wrong. Fake Newstons. Okay?
I do. I don't know. All right, whatever. Who goes first this week?
It's you, actually. So.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, I did that last time.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh boy.
All right, let's go. Matthew Ryan Stewart was born and raised in Mooresville, North Carolina. He graduated from both high school and community college in his hometown.
Shut up, that's more than us.
I mean, okay, yeah.
I mean, we're not wrong. We both did not graduate community college.
I mean, okay, they didn't need to know that, but all right.
I think we've already told them that.
Oh, yeah, probably. You love talking about how I was too dumb for Spanish.
Honey,
So, he was beloved by anyone who knew him. After graduating from college, he went on to be a nurse at the local medical center.
Oh, you overachiever.
Yeah, having like a good job helping people. He was very active in his community. He was actually a soccer coach for a youth league that I believe at least one of his children was on. Okay. He was a respected member of his church where he helped a lot with the youth ministries. He had a wife and 3 children.
All right.
Okay. So, fuck, I didn't write down the date. Hang on. About 40 minutes after midnight on June 9th, 2009, Matt and his wife, Angel, were asleep in their bedroom. On this particular night, their year-old son was actually sleeping in bed with them. Okay. So, I mean, I think that's a thing with babies. Like, they sleep in the bed with you sometimes just because, I don't know, you have to take care of them. I mean,
yeah, I mean, when they're that little, they wake up, I think, a lot, so... What did you say?
I said everyone knows you have to take care of babies. They're not independent whatsoever. They're very clingy.
I mean, they try to be sometimes.
So, at this time, someone entered their room, stood over their bed while they slept, and began shooting at them.
Jesus.
Instinct kicked in immediately. Angel was actually shot in the wrist. So Matt's wife was shot in the wrist, but still managed to grab her son and run from the room. Mm-hmm. So this is like one of those things that scares the absolute fuck out of me.
Oh, like a home invasion type of thing?
Yeah, that's scary as shit. Because especially so I don't sleep well. Right. I don't sleep much normally. When something startling wakes me up, I am the dumbest person anyone's ever met. If I fall asleep on the couch, Sarah has, takes videos of me. Sarah's my fiance. Sarah takes videos of me because I'll fall asleep on the couch, I can't fall asleep in bed. I don't know why. It takes me longer. But, if we're sitting there watching a movie and I'm really tired, I might start to doze off. Right. But she'll try and wake me up, and I'm just real dumb. I don't know what's going on. Half the time, I don't remember it. She'll wake me up, and she's like, "Hey, sweetie, you want to go to bed?" And I'm just like, "Huh? Huh? What? Bed? Buh?" It's terrible. She has videos of me it's
I need these. Sarah, send me these.
It's super stupid. I remember one time I was sleeping on the couch, when I was younger, and I guess my buddy was coming over to help me with something with my car, and for whatever reason, my dad, smacked the couch to wake me up, and I, panicked and sat up, and he's like, "Go outside," and I'm just like, okay, and I just walked outside. That was it. I didn't know what was going on, and I came back in and was like, oh, now I need to put, shoes on and everything. It's a rough time, okay? So what I'm saying is, if someone came into my house and started shooting a gun at me while I was in bed, one, that's a rough night any which way you cut it.
Yeah, I think so.
Two, I'm for sure just gonna, panic, run into a wall, and that's it. That's the end of old Cody. I'm gonna put myself out on a wall, and he's gonna have an easy target.
I mean, you can fit into some small spaces, sir, in terms of hiding. So you would lose out that opportunity.
I would not know what I'm doing. I'm gonna wake up, and it's gonna be like, huh, fireworks, and then I'm dead. That's it. So Angel woke up, was actually shot in her wrist, jumped up, grabbed her son who was sleeping in the bed with them, and ran from the room.
Telling you I'm already skeptical, but please continue.
Oh, it's fucked. She said that as she was running out, Matt went after the intruder and started fighting and wrestling him to the ground. Mm-hmm. Or trying to, at least. Mm-hmm. So she ran from the house, her son in her arms, and went to the neighbors to call the police. Okay. The police arrived within 15 minutes. 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
This is one of those things that, I just don't understand at fucking all.
What?
The police get there within 15 to 20 minutes. They don't enter the house until an hour and 40 minutes later because they were afraid, what if they have a hostage?
But
there's no signs of there being a hostage. There's no signs of a standoff. They're told, my husband is in there. He was fighting a man with a gun. I was shot. Like, she's able to physically show them proof that she was shot. And they're like, better play it safe. For almost 2 hours. For almost 2 hours they are outside before they finally go in.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I just, like, I cannot fucking imagine.
Do you think one of them was like, Marco? And then they were just like, I don't know, it's awfully quiet.
Did that scuffle in the house sound like someone said polo?
We better not chance it with all these guns we have.
Marco!
We couldn't, you know...
Bang, 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 bang!
Out Manpire, or... Oh, Jesus. Out Manpire, Jesus. All
Out
right.
Manpire.
Out Manpower a guy.
Yeah, it's... Like, I truly don't understand. So, once the police finally entered the house, they found that Matt had been murdered. He had been beaten, he had been stabbed, and he had been shot.
Beaten, stabbed, and shot.
Beaten, stabbed, and shot. So he was fighting for his family's life.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
that's quite a struggle. That sounds
like,
real intense
he
stuff.
really was. Like, he was protecting his family. He went after whoever this person was and kept his family safe. Like,
he did what he needed to do. Yeah.
It's truly incredible. And the next part is like, just like heartbreaking. So, in the rooms surrounding his dead body, 2 of his children were unharmed and still asleep in their beds. So,
Okay.
guns were going off, fighting was happening, but, like, if you've ever tried to wake up a kid, like, those little fuckers are asleep.
Depending on, the type of,
The type of kid. But,
Yeah.
like, in rooms just surrounding where he had been murdered,
Yeah.
his kids were still in bed asleep. Their 3-year-old daughter
They
was
slept
literally...
through that, and then the hour and 40 minutes of obviously silence, because ain't nobody doing shit.
Right.
Just, oh god, that's crazy.
Their 3-year-old daughter was literally sleeping in the room right next to where he was murdered and never woke up.
During that, but she was fine.
She was absolutely unharmed, literally just sleeping in her bed.
I mean, I'd rather her sleep through it than be traumatized, but that's,
absolutely.
That's crazy, though. That's really crazy.
The neighbors on both sides of the house, like their neighbors to either side, never woke up. The only people who woke up were the ones that the house that Angel had gone to. Which, again, is like, it's scary enough to think that, like, you're in bed, you're sleeping, and
Right.
someone, like, if he had never shot at them, he could have just fucking watched them sleep. Right?
yeah, that's a no thank you.
It's fucking scary. But, like, what really, like, fucks me up is to think that this dude was going through hell. He was quite literally fighting for his life and for the safety of his family, and people just, like, dozens of feet away slept through the entire thing.
They slept through it, and then the police are fucking just... Who knows if they could have saved his life if they had gone in.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't know.
We don't know how long he was suffering, how long he
But,
bled out, or...
I think he was shot in the heart.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better, but...
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a ton of luck on his side, unfortunately.
Right, which is... If that's what happened, I'd rather him go out, like...
But, I mean, like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. It's like, if like it's so fucked up how close people were and weren't aware, had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's like, it's the same. It's the same as being like if you were parked right next to another car in a parking lot and someone's being murdered in that car next to you and you have no idea.
Right.
Like you were so close to something so awful and you have no idea.
It's like the couple that went on that moonlit walk, and then Ted Bundy was like hiding in the bushes because he had just murdered someone. It's just like that. You have no idea how fucking close you are to like real serious danger. Right.
It's so scary to me.
Oh, that blows my mind every time I think about that story.
Yeah. Ugh. So later in the year, the police, I mean, it was like, so it's one of those things that it was a big deal in this town because it wasn't like, I mean, it was some random ass town in North Carolina. It was a nicer, you know, community. It wasn't like known for violence or crime or anything. But like it shook this town. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was, I was watching like news coverage and stuff about it. Like just the neighbors being like, he for all intents and purposes saved his family.
Right.
Like he really did. And it's one of those things that like I feel like it probably went through your mind and it sort of went through my mind at first. Like, yeah, the wife did it, right?
Yeah, I mean...
At first, you're like, the fucking wife did it.
Too many things have happened where women have had these just minor injuries where it's like, oh, I was shot in the wrist, and you're like,
Right.
Concern.
It doesn't seem to be the case.
Okay.
There was no evidence pointing towards her.
Okay.
It's something that she's been an advocate since about, like, you know, home security and stuff like that. Okay. There's no reason to believe that she had anything to do with it.
Okay. Well, obviously the gun might have had a silencer too if the neighbors didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't say anything like that. It did say that there was 2 calibers of bullets. So someone, it's very possible he just had 2 guns. Right. But they found casings and stuff of 2 different bullets. There was no like forced entry to the house, and there was nothing stolen. Right? Yeah. So, but so we'll get to it, but it's one of those things that like unfortunately these things do happen. Right. So, later in the year, the police released a sketch of the Attactor.
Attactor?
The Attactor. The Attacker. Attactor. So...
The Manpire Attactor.
So, understandably, while Angel, you know, grabbed her kid and ran for their lives, she didn't get a great look at this guy.
Also, why didn't she get the other kids?
I don't know. It didn't. None of the.
I just
like that's one of those.
That's
one of those things that I thought about. I was like, damn, fuck them other kids, huh?
I mean, like I don't want to blame because sometimes you just go on instinct and that's who you have and you just got to run.
I mean, but like, it's one of those things that like you think about it and it's like. That kid was right there. Yeah. And was also the youngest. Yeah. Which, you know, I don't know, motherly instincts. Yeah. Maybe it's something that's just, that's the youngest, that's the one you protect first.
Maybe, or that's the one that was right in front of you. I don't know. That's the one that
was right there. But the other thing is like, if you're trying to get out, it's a big risk to go into other rooms.
You're right, and let them know there are other people.
Right out.
Yeah.
So they released this sketch of the Attacker. It is the most nondescript picture of a human being I have ever seen in my life.
Is it a stick figure? Those are my favorite.
It fucking might as well be.
Is it like the leprechaun drawing?
Oh, it's not a masterpiece.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Right.
It's nondescript. It's not artistically beautiful. So I'll send you the picture.
Okay.
But like looking at this drawing, this composite sketch, it might as well be a mannequin at Macy's. Like, it's insane.
That is literally a nightmare for me. Okay.
This person doesn't look like they have, like, you can normally look at someone and say, oh, well, big eyebrows, crazy hair, beard, whatever.
Bald.
Right? Bald. You can usually often look at someone and say man or woman,
resting bitch face.
Black, white. All she had was a tall male. I'm telling you,
I mean, it's dark, so I
nothing about this composite sketch is identifying whatsoever. It looks like your husband plays video games. When you first start up a video game and you have to create your character, and it just gives you that blank fucking person that looks like I would imagine if you told an alien, hey, picture a human, the first thing that pops into their head is this fucking drawing.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing stand out about it.
Okay.
I've never seen a less memorable person in my life.
All right, you're making me way too curious. What's the guy's name again?
Hang on. I probably have it like right here. I do.
Or send it in the chat.
Save into the jazz. No.
Yeah, I need to know. I need to see this picture because I know what I think of when it comes to like a blank, just tall male. I probably just think of my husband, but I think of a general, like,
All right, hang on.
Outline. But I don't know. Ugh, I don't.
It's so confusing to me. Like, I understand.
Like, especially if you're in a hurry, I do understand the whole idea that, you may not get a really good.
It literally it feels like they were like, can you please describe him? And she was like, person.
Person.
And they were like, could you be a bit more specific? And she was like, well, 2 eyes, 2 ears. He did have a nose. Like a face. He has a face.
He looks like if you flattened Joss Whedon's nose and you moved his eyes apart a bit. No. No.
I don't feel that that's the case.
You don't see that?
No.
Okay.
I do not. It looks like they made Mr. Clean less memorable. It's so confusing to me. So right after this, many people thought that maybe he had been an outlying victim of a spree killer that originated in Gaffney, South Carolina, named Patrick Tracy Burris.
Does he look anything like this?
I don't remember seeing a picture of him, honestly.
Usually, they don't.
Patrick Tracy.
Usually not.
He sure fucking does not.
Okay, well,
Oh, what? He might be more confusing.
What
the fuck?
Sorry. What do you mean more? Okay, you send me the thing. Or I'll look. What is
between like 3 different pictures? he looks like 3 entirely different people.
What's the name again?
Patrick Tracy Burris.
I wrote no such name. Not everyone should become a forensic sketch artist. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So Burris was a man who shot and killed 5 people over the course of 6 days starting on June 27th, 2009. Mm-hmm. The attacks were entirely random. They were brutal. And so I think his victims ranged from, like, it's pretty fucked. Like, let's see. So he killed his first person on June 27th. He killed a woman's husband in her living room. He had come over and asked about buying some hay. And then she went out to do some errands, and he went into the house and shot and killed her husband.
For what?
July 1st, Burris killed Hazel Linder, 83, and her 50-year-old daughter, Gina Linder Parker. They were both found... Oh, they were bound and shot to death. So he tied them up and killed them. The following day, Steven Tyler, not of Aerosmith fame, was killed in his family's appliance and furniture store. His 15-year-old daughter, Abby, was shot and seriously injured when she came back to check on her father. Steven died on site, and Abby died days later at the hospital.
Jesus.
So... Yeah, this guy was a fucker. He eventually, like, tried to rob a home, and 3 police showed up and asked him what his name was, and he gave them a fake name and wouldn't cooperate with them. And they were like, I mean, you saw the sketch, so they were like, pretty sure that's the guy.
Right. Yeah.
So they were like, no, I think that's the guy we're looking for. So they tased him, and Burris pulled out a gun and shot one of the officers in the leg. And that was just... That one shot from his pistol was the starting pistol to them just laying him to rest, because they unloaded on him.
Right.
It was later proven that he had nothing to do with Matt's murder.
But he did do all
he
the
did.
other
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yeah. He did a bunch of murders, just not Matt's murder.
Just not Matt. Yeah.
Yes. To this day, Matt's murder remains unsolved.
Jesus.
They
just have that nondescript sketch.
Fucking random act of violence. Yeah.
2 different caliber bullets, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Just
that's walking around and you don't fucking know what they're up to, and they could blend in.
That's the opposite of the lottery.
Right? They could totally blend in, and you would have no idea that they're a murderer. It's terrifying.
Yeah, super fucked.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So I do have a headline. It was actually sent to me by Kim. I need to pull up this article. Thank you, Kim. And
thanks, Kim.
Yes.
Wait, our Kim?
Our Kim, yes.
Aww.
Like she's our Kim. But
thanks,
no.
Our Kim.
Right, yeah. So she sent me this a few days ago, and it says, soon-to-be bride discovers she was allegedly kidnapped as a child. So, that's super fun. But basically, she found this out a while back. It's not necessarily something she just found out. However, she was on TikTok and she was going over everything and telling the story.
So what happened? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm going to go over it again. Soon-to-be bride discovers she was allegedly kidnapped as a child. Yeah. So this woman, she's 42.
Okay.
Her name is Shawnette Davis, and she figured this out when she was 26. So she's telling her whole story on TikTok, and we'll go over it. So
Okay.
this is how she finds out that she had been kidnapped as a child. It's in 2006, and she was in a really great place in her life. She was about to get married. She had 2 children, and she wanted to track down her biological mother to hopefully be at the wedding. And so what she does is she wants to find her mother via her criminal record. I guess she knows she has a criminal record, so she's like, hey, this is how I'm going to find her.
So wait, so she just thinks she's adopted?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And we'll get into it. So she ends up calling the sheriff's department, and she gives them everything she has, everything that she knows about the situation, whatever her adopted parents had told her.
Okay.
So the sheriff gets super intrigued, and he's like, you need to sit down before I tell you this. And she's like, okay. He says that he cannot find any information in regards to her mother. However, she is a missing person. And the reason it's never come up is because it was all in records that had been archived. But Shawnette had been kidnapped as a child. So that day was pretty rough. And basically over like the dozen or so videos on TikTok, she just has this whole story that she goes over. She wasn't technically kidnapped, but she kind of was.
Okay.
So her mother arranged for her to be sold to her alleged kidnappers. So her mother literally...
What the fuck?
Yes. Her mother fucking sold her to these assholes.
That's not funny. I don't know why.
It's because it caught you off guard.
Fuck. Her mom's son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Dude.
Not a good mom. Not a good mom.
Dude,
at all.
From what I understand, like, planning a wedding's already rough as shit, and then you find out that your mom sold you.
I have to wonder, is your mother's name also Kathleen? Should you
My
also... should you write that obit with
that'd
Gina?
be funny as, that'd be funny as shit. If, like, me and Sarah are getting ready for our wedding, and then I find out that, like, my mom stole me.
Your mom would never, unless
Huh?
that's a cover.
Oh, maybe that's why she loves me so much.
Oh, yeah.
Because if she like acted up a little bit, and I was like, let's Google. That might be why she's so good to me.
That doesn't explain your dad, though. At all.
No.
No, your dad's like, I got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
Nothing.
he doesn't give a shit.
So, apparently she was sold to her kidnappers at 6 months old, but that her grandmother, I
How
guess
much?
her mom's mom, they don't discuss it. Why do you need to know the amount, Cody?
I'm interested in, like, how expensive a baby is.
Oh, are
Because I
you?
know, like, I mean, not for me personally, just
Obviously
on,
not.
like, a trivial level. Because, like, raising a baby is so expensive.
Right.
From what, like, I don't know, fucking the news or magazines tell me. I don't know where I get my baby knowledge
We used
from,
to work
but,
at a baby store.
yeah, I was terrible at that part. We all know that. Remember the baby shower thing?
No.
You don't... Oh, okay. So when me and Ashley... This is going to make me sound so goddamn stupid, it's not even funny. But, so when me and Ashley worked at Babies R Us way back in the day...
/ Toys R Us. I worked on the baby side.
Yeah, she worked on the baby side. I worked on the toys side. We had rival gangs.
Oh, for sure.
So...
Purple versus blue, bitch.
Yeah, so the every once in a while, like, it was a terrible company that deserved to go out of business, and
No love lost.
and they would staff us with like 4 people in the building.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I would end up having to work on the baby side, and I didn't know anything about babies, or like just raising children in general.
Basically, you should have just left him in what was our zone, which was the electronics. That's where he belonged.
You asked me about video games and, like, collectible action figures, I'm your boy. You asked me about, like... Okay, so which leads me to this woman... So, the way that I interpret things a lot of times is literal, like, to a fault. Like, I take things a lot of times at face value, and the way people say things to me is very important because that's kind of how I interpret it.
Right.
So a woman so we had, like, walkie-talkies so we could be like, hey, we still have formula. A woman came up to me and asked one time, excuse me, sir, but do you have, like, baby shower games? And I was like, we have bath toys. And she goes, no, like shower games. And
I don't remember this.
And I'm sitting there thinking, like, who the fuck takes a baby in a shower? Like, you have to put them in the sink to wash them off, babies. I mean, why would you have a baby in a shower? Why the fuck are you playing games with a baby in the shower? What is wrong with you? But this, I was like, I mean, we have rubber ducks. We have, like, those fun little things that you get them wet and you stick them on the bath wall, like letters and numbers and stuff. She was like, no, sir, shower games. And I'm like, I'll ask someone. So I get on the walkie-talkie and I'm like, hey, do we have shower games? And one of our managers at the time was like, oh, you mean, like, guess the gender and put the diaper on the baby and I don't know what other shower. I guess, like, you like melt chocolate in diapers. No, we didn't have any of that.
Yeah,
and this woman, yeah, so what she meant was games for a baby shower. Right. Which, when you say it like that, I'm like, oh yeah, baby shower. But this woman was asking me if we had shower games, and I could not comprehend why the fuck is a baby in the shower. Like, they for sure cannot stand up on their own, and they're probably going to get slippery, so if you're holding a baby in the shower, you're definitely going to drop it. And I just, that's the way my mind was thinking. And this woman clearly thought I was challenged and was just like, yeah, I'll go somewhere else. I'll go check Party City. And I was like, all right, cool. And then she left.
Good plan.
And they came over and was like, yeah, we're going to put you back over on the toy side. We're going to just let people explore over here today.
No, dude, if we're shitting on people at Toys R Us, I'm not going to say, like, names because this is, like, an actual person that was shopping there. This woman came in, and I will never forget, she wanted to buy something for a baby shower. So she wanted to pull up something on the registry, and she was like, oh, they're in Houston. And I'm like, oh, okay, Texas. She was like, no, Houston. Okay. Okay. Houston, Texas. No. Houston. All right, honey. This is going to be real rough for you. So I just pulled it up with the name and everything, but she was like, no. Adamant it was not Texas. But it was.
Does she think Houston's its own place? Like its own state?
Yeah, they emancipated themselves, obviously.
Oh, cool. So how much is a baby? But that's why I started talking about that. Is right. Because, like, babies are already so expensive to raise them into an adult. I would think, as a responsible shopper.
This is also 40 years ago.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you want to get, like, a cheap baby so the initial investment isn't too high because you're already going to put so much money into it. Or do you get, like, a really like, high-end baby and then it's easier to raise? Is that a thing?
Cody, baby financier.
Are some babies easier? Yeah.
Financier.
I don't know. I don't know much about children. So it didn't say how much the baby was. Okay, you can continue.
It sure didn't. All right. 5 hours later. So, yeah. So her grandmother, mind you, her mom's mom, I believe. Maybe her dad, I'm not sure. So either way, her grandmother has no idea this whole plot is going on. So she reports her missing because she's like, where is my granddaughter? Because nobody fucking tells her.
Yeah, it's 6 months old.
Yeah, nobody fucking tells her that this whole shady deal is going on. She's being sold. And so she's like, oh my fucking God, my granddaughter is missing. What the hell? So, Davis, Shawnette Davis, considers herself kidnapped, even though her mom did sell her. She considers the whole thing like a kidnapping because no one else knows that this happened. It's very shady. It's just, it's a whole uncomfortable situation. I would probably consider that too. She says that for the first 10 years of her life, she believed that her parents were just, her biological parents. When they split, apparently the male kidnapper had custody of her, but she suffered pretty severe abuse from him, unfortunately. Yeah, it wasn't a good situation, so she ended up running away from home, and she was always on the run at that point.
Wait, so
yes.
You're telling me that the people that didn't go through an adoption agency and just bought a child from a woman that was willing to sell a child weren't fit parents?
Imagine that.
Interesting.
It's so disgusting. So, Shawnette Davis said that she really wanted to find her biological mother. She probably had a ton of fucking questions. So she spent quite a bit of money trying to find her biological mom, and she ended up finding her. This woman's name is Julie Bray, and when interviewed by a local news station, she's like, oh, I've been looking for my daughter for years. I wonder what happened. I've been looking for her.
That's a fucking Joe Dirt move.
Right. So, Davis is like, none of that is true. She did meet her mother's siblings and some of that family, but apparently it was just a toxic situation overall, not really great.
No way.
Right? She ended up even moving in with, I think, her biological half-sister at one point. And then she became an alcoholic, I guess from stress and other things that she was going through. So it just wasn't a really good situation overall. But no one has ever gone to jail. Nothing has ever come of it in terms of any kind of justice or actual repercussions. But at the end of the day, that's basically her story, is just how fucked up that was. That was her life. And then no one received any consequences whatsoever. Her mom got to keep the money and whatever her fucking toxic nature was. And I mean, she's in a really great place now, Shawnette Davis, which is great. And I got that off of Yahoo News. But like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna text my mom and ask her if she had to buy me, how much would she pay?
You are not texting your mother.
If you had to buy me as a child.
She's gonna suck up. What? She's gonna be like, "You are priceless, my golden child."
She is gonna say
$1 million.
$1
million.
What price?
And I would pay $1 million more.
Would be fair.
You are not texting her, are you?
Yeah, I swear to God.
All right. She's gonna be like, "What the hell? Are you on drugs?"
I mean, no, she'll be like, "Oh, baby, I love you. You're priceless." Like you said, like it's just gonna be like,
Oh God, this fucking case I'm about to do, man.
It's a lot, eh?
Yeah.
Are we still trying for Ted Bundy's? Is that?
If you guys want to send them, I will read them. Absolutely, we can do those.
Send them in.
That's absolutely fine. If you want to set headlines, you can do that as well. If you just want to listen to us, we would absolutely love that too. Oh, I do have to say, if anyone has listened that saw me down in Florida with my Dear Friends Dead Ends podcast mask on, and you did listen because you saw me with it on, please write a review on Apple Podcasts.
A good review.
Honestly, any review is cool, but we would love a good review.
5 stars.
Sure. So, put in the review that you saw my mask. I want to know if it worked, if people actually, because I know a lot of people read it, and I did have people ask me about it, but I want to know if anyone actually for sure listened because they saw me in Florida with it on. So let me know. And also, we do need more reviews. We haven't gotten a new one, I think, since the end of March. I know we've all had a lot going on, but no matter where you listen to us, if you can review us on Apple Podcasts, that is the one that really kind of pushes us forward and gets us seen by more people. So, with that said, we are going to get into what is kind of a local story. It's from Washington, D.C., and it is the story of Relisha Rudd. It is really fucked up. So, this child was born October 29th of 2005. She vanished, debatably, around March 1st of 2014. So she was 8 years old at the time. And she was living with her mother in a DC shelter. I've never heard about this. I don't remember this happening in 2014, and I've usually been pretty aware of different cases like this.
Right.
But I don't remember hearing about any of this. And a lot of the impoverished cases where it's either someone of color or they're from a certain social class or a certain, whatever it might be, typically they're not as well portrayed in the media. They don't get talked about. They don't have the money to propel it further, to get it noticed more. So it's usually really, really sad. It just goes right into it. So she's living in the DC General Shelter. It's not completely like the Fitz case, but they do have some similarities. That was the one in San Francisco where it was the mom and daughter who were in the shelter. Yeah. And then all of that happened. So she's there with her mother. It's Shamika Young. And Relisha met a janitor that worked there. Now is a good time to groan and or cringe. And the janitor's name was Khalil Tatum. Yeah. Khalil was a former felon, which can range from pot offenses to very, very serious misconduct. If I'm able to find that later on, we'll talk about it. So initially we're going to start with February of 2014. And this is when Relisha stops showing up at school. But it's an entire month before any formal report gets made to the police.
She didn't come to school for a month and no one said anything?
Correct.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, well, we'll get to why. So, weeks before she is declared missing and the search actually begins, surveillance would reveal that Relisha is actually in the company of Khalil Tatum.
My mom texted me back.
What'd she say?
I'd pay whatever was asked. You're priceless. So we fucking nailed that one. God damn it. I was hoping she was going to be like,
$2.
Nothing in the six figures.
Your dad would be like, $2 max.
He'd
have to pay me.
It's one of those things. My dad, I know my dad loves me. Mm-hmm. But he said some things in the past where I'm like, what?
Oh, no, he's got a really fucked up sense of humor, which I think is how you get your amazing sense of humor.
Well,
also, he's just quirky.
So this is aging me a little bit, but yeah. I went to Blockbuster one time.
Sure.
And that was my favorite thing is I'd go up to Blockbuster that's right around the corner and just look for movies. Sure. And I saw my buddy drive by and I was like, screw it, I'll go to my buddy's house. So I told my dad I'd be back in a half hour. Mm-hmm. I didn't come home literally for 12 hours. And because I went over to my buddy's house and I tried to call home and let him know I was going out, no one answered, and I didn't leave a message or anything, but I went out with my buddies and we went I told him I was going literally 5 minutes away, and we wound up in Virginia doing something. And then I came home 12 hours later and I was like, hey Pop, and he was like, hey bud, where you been? And so, well, I went out and I tried to call and let you guys know, but it was like I thought maybe you were out in a ditch somewhere, and I started to call you, but I didn't. I was like, all right, cool, good talk.
Started to worry about you, but then I was like, nah, my show is on.
I didn't.
My show is on, and I was
like, basically.
Maybe
all
later.
Right, cool.
Maybe later. Alright, so let's get into these details. So before I get into just the horrific bullshit, the felony convictions I did find for Khalil Tatum, it was burglary, larceny, which I actually had to look up because I forgot what that was, and it's theft of personal property, and breaking and entering. So it's nothing that's like violent at another human being directly. So he was in prison for 10 years from 93 to 03, and then again from 2004 to 2011. So he had only been out for about 3 years when this girl goes missing. And he had been in prison for 21 years total before that. So that's a lot.
Damn.
That's a lot. So after being released, he is hired as a janitor by a community program that helps prevent homelessness. And what makes me really fucking angry is that this is not the first child that Khalil showed an interest in at the shelter. Since being hired there, he was known to fraternize with residents at the shelter, and people noticed he was particularly attentive to female children. Why the fuck did you not place him somewhere else?
Yeah, that's real gross. Wait, so what kind of shelter is it again?
It's the DC General Shelter. So it's just, they probably take everyone.
Oh, so it's just if you need a place to stay, this
yeah,
is the
like,
place.
I think long-term, short-term, like, they'll find you a place to stay, whether it's a cot, or sometimes they actually have rooms set up where, you know, families can stay and stuff like that.
That's just so strange to me that he's, like, working with a program to prevent homelessness, and he's working in a shelter.
Right, but he's also a perv. Or just really just weirdly interested in female children.
So a perv.
yeah, basically.
There's no two ways about that.
Yeah, I don't know how else I was going to describe that. I just love how we could not have him, you know, cleaning windows or like landscaping at a cemetery. Or I almost put cleaning windows at a cemetery, which makes no sense. So we could also have him do that.
Good call.
Why don't we send him to find the windows at the cemetery? It'll take a while. So Khalil becomes friends with Relisha and Relisha's mother, Shamika. He buys Relisha a laptop. So if that's not clue number one, that something's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Like initially it might sound very charming. Don't accept gifts.
No, honestly, big, like, off the jump gifts like that are always like a warning sign.
Yeah, don't do it. I don't care how nice you think these people are, how much they care about your child's education.
But that's the thing. It's like that's why they give such nice gifts. It's like they're trying too hard to prove that they're nice.
Right, to win
like,
you over. They
how
need
nice
to win
I
your
am.
trust.
Here's the thing.
Just I hate those people. So it just screams grooming right off the bat. So I'm filled with rage as I'm researching this. And then I wrote, fucking Christ. He takes her to see Disney on Ice, which was not supposed to rhyme. However, yeah, so he takes her to see that. Just if anyone takes a special interest in your child and they're an adult, cut that shit out.
Have you ever been to one of those things, Disney's on Ice?
I haven't, but it seems like it's a really cringeworthy situation.
It's weird.
Unless you're a child, then it's wonderful.
I remember specifically, I know I was a child. Like, it wasn't like 2 years ago that I went.
No, you could have, I don't know.
But, like, no.
But, no, what if Sydney wanted to go?
Okay, so here's the thing. If you're taking a child, it's one thing.
Right.
If just me, as me...
Oh, God.
...decided to go by myself...
Immediately notify the authorities.
Tase me. Tase me immediately and take me out back and beat me because there's something fucking wrong with me. That's weird. I don't give a shit real. How much you enjoy Disney. If you're like, you know what I should do? Sit in an arena full of children and their parents by myself and watch, you know, what? Fucking Pocahontas spin around in a goddamn circle?
It's a whole different thing than the parks. A whole different situation.
Yeah, no, that it's... Nah. You're a sketchy fuck.
Nah. So, let's see what we got going on. I just put on here, like, anything of that nature, it's a no-go. Don't let it happen. Don't think that they're just being nice. Don't think that it's something that's very, very sweet and just good-natured. On the rare occasion, it will be, but typically it's a warning sign and you should cut it off right immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this next part. Shamika, the mother, then allowed Khalil to take Relisha back to his grandmother's home for an overnight visit.
Nope.
Like, it makes me want to cry, and I'm not going to, but it's really... I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Normally, I would say don't victim blame. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you... That's a no-go. I'm just hoping she's exceedingly naive and not realizing what she just gave permission to. Oh, God. So, February 2014, Relisha stops showing up. Her mother got a doctor's note for the absence.
For a month?
I don't think it said for a month. I don't know how long the note was initially written for. That I don't know. They don't put those details in here. They contribute it to health problems and that Dr. Tatum is in charge of it. Dr. Khalil Tatum.
Oh, I thought that name sounded familiar.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. So, let's see, where are we at? Thank God someone at the school had their wits about them. They called a number for Dr. Tatum, and they're like, hi, let's meet up sometime. You know, we really like to hear what's going on with Relisha. We want to know what her conditions are, kind of what you're helping her through. In the age of the internet, someone Googled it, and they're like, this is a doctorate from the University of Bullshit. So they're like, let's talk to you. Let's see. Obviously, they saw something was fucking wrong. And, you know, and then this Dr. Tatum is handling things for weeks. Okay, so Khalil agrees to meet. He no-shows, which is quite predictable when you are guilty. Yep. And on March 19th, there is a missing persons probe that gets launched by local police. So now we're a month in, and finally people are aware of the situation. Mm-hmm. This is when they find CCTV footage, and it's actually from February 26th. So we're basically like a month behind. Mm-hmm. It's of a Holiday Inn in Northeast D.C., Khalil and Relisha walk down a hallway in the footage. She is seen again in footage a couple of days later on March 1st. She's walking with him once again in a hotel. It's a Days Inn on New York Avenue in D.C. No known footage has been discovered since of Relisha since that day. But we're about to get into the other details. So, where are we? Okay. March 20th. The day that some media starts reporting things and it becomes official, there's a body that's found. Mm-hmm. It's in a motel in Peachey County, or Prince George's County, for those of you who are not local. The body is of Khalil Tatum's wife, who up till this point has not been discussed at all. So you don't even know that he's married. God
damn.
Correct.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So she was shot fatally in the head, and surveillance from the hotel shows the night before that the couple had entered the hotel together. Khalil, aside from that, was last seen buying supplies such as a shovel, lime, which is something that helps decompose of a body a little bit quicker. That's typically what it does. And then 42-gallon trash bags. So That's the size of the trash bag, is 42 gallon. That's a really large bag.
That's a big bag.
This is on March 2nd. This was the day after Relisha was last seen recorded alive by the footage from the Holiday Inn in D.C. So there's an arrest warrant that gets obtained for the murder of Andrea Tatum, who is Khalil's wife. And on March 31st, that's when the search ends in Kenilworth Park, which I think is in D.C. or just outside. There's a body that's found in a shed. This is the body of Khalil Tatum, who appeared to have self-inflicted gunshot wounds with the same gun that killed his wife. They're not mentioning any surveillance of Khalil leaving the Holiday Inn with large bags or a suitcase or any kind of large container.
Right.
I don't know how he would have avoided that unless the windows could be opened. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
How you would.
What the fuck?
I don't know how you'd get around that. But just wait. There is more that this case has to give. We come to October of 2017. And
before we get into more interesting stuff, can we pause for a minute?
Yeah, hold on.
Right.
Give me 1 second. Pause, and then we're going to pause the audio.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
Was it? Perfect. Alright. So.
Right.
As I said, this case keeps on giving in the worst of ways. So, we come to October 2017, and we come to the Steve Wilkos show. If you don't know who Steve Wilkos is, then you never spent any amount of time during a lunch break watching the Jerry Springer show. Because he was a bouncer on there, and eventually he got his own show as a host because he was quite beloved as a bouncer, that everyone was like, hey, let's give him a show. And then that's what happened. So, Jesus. I haven't watched the episode, to be honest, but Shamika Young, Relisha's mother, as well as Relisha's stepfather, Antonio Wheeler, I believe, go on this show. Also, the grandmother, Shamika's mother, Melissa, comes on the show. So all three of them are getting interviewed about Relisha's case. And I have mixed feelings about it because on one case you're getting more exposure for the case. On the other hand, why? So what they do is they ask them to take lie detector tests on the show. Because of course they do. Of course they do. Two of them do. The stepfather and the grandmother. They take lie detector tests, and while those aren't necessarily reliable, refusing to take it and or failing it typically is not a good sign. It's not really great. The mother, Shamika, refuses to take it. She wants no parts of that, and that could be completely innocent and just on the advice of her attorney. I'm not really sure. But other decisions that she has made in regards to the case, I don't really know what to think, because you literally let your daughter go on an overnight with this man you really didn't know to his grandmother's house, and then for weeks you allowed him to have her there, potentially. I don't know what part of you as a mother would say that is okay. So I don't know you, but there's nothing good that comes from that, so I can't really applaud that either, obviously. But this is really fucked up. So, the two that did take it, they had to respond to, did you participate in any way with Relisha's disappearance? And they both said no, and they both passed. But her body's never been found. I think we all kind of have an idea. So, it's technically... it's not really unsolved, but we've never gotten closure, and her family has never gotten to peacefully bury her or anything like that. And I can't say that she is dead. We do not know. She could have the number of things could have happened to that child, and it's just sad all around that not one person at the shelter not one person, I mean, I don't know that anyone at the school could have really done much at that point by the time she was missing. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't think it's on them. It comes down to, I think the people at the shelter who knew that he had an interest and didn't move him, or that, and even the mother, I can't believe you would let him do that. It's just so fucked. That poor girl deserved better. I feel like you know that, and it's really sad that this is the reality that everyone has had to live with, and that poor child, unfortunately, is probably gone. But if anyone happens to know anything about this case, please call the DC police. It's 202-265-9100. I really hope we'll have good news about this case, terrible. But I really don't feel that we will.
Oh, fuck.
It's just really fucked up all around. I feel really, really bad for Relisha. So, it's a really fucked up case. The only comical thing I find is that they literally were like, yeah, just put my last name. Doctors don't put my last name.
So
don't even make him a name. Put my last name.
So
Dr. Tatum. Yeah.
I mean, like, to think that the mom essentially allowed and...
Yep.
I mean, kind of condoned...
I wouldn't...
sort of fucked up stuff. Or that sort of fucked up stuff. And then just...
I will never understand that.
Nothing happens to her. She's just like, well...
Even if you're naive...
Jesus Christ.
At some point... Correct. You let weeks go by, and I'm pretty sure this child was not at the shelter either. Like, I'm 90% sure. He takes her for this overnight visit, and she never sees her again, but I could be wrong.
I can't even... Yeah, I can't even blame the people at the shelter, at least for not reporting that she was gone, because for all you know, like, she's staying with a different family member that wants to take care of the kid and not take care of the mom. But, like, if you're fucking...
Correct.
And why does it have to be a janitor?
Correct. Yeah.
Like, I mean, janitors get a bad rap as it is, I feel like. And then you've got this fucking janitor just hanging out, like, eyeing all the young girls at the place. That's... Oh, god damn it. If he's, like, looking at kids and licking his lips...
Well, God, hopefully he wasn't doing that shit.
Maybe he doesn't deserve to be in the program.
Correct.
Get rid of him. You don't need to find that guy a job.
Right. All around.
There's tons of people that want to be rehabilitated and are, like, damn fine people. They're just down in their luck. And this guy is, like, a creepy fuck. And they're like, nah, we gotta stick with him.
So many signs. So many signs. The laptop, sign number 1. The overnight fucking visit is the one that blows my fucking mind.
That was unfortunate for his
once we hit that mother was never going to do anything.
Right.
Whether it's because she's naive or because she literally didn't give a shit. I cannot tell you which it is because I do not know her and this is all alleged. I have a hard time understanding that decision is what I will say. Without being mean about it because she did lose her daughter. However... This is just fucked up. I don't understand. But that is my case, and it's one of those ones where I was fascinated from start to end by the amount of dumb decisions that happened.
Yeah.
There's a number of ones where we could have said no, and that child could still be alive.
Like, so, not to defend... like the program or the shelter or anything like that.
Right.
But it is much easier for things to go unnoticed when it's a large group of people like that.
That are interchanging a lot.
Right. And then, having said that, the mom's decisions seem malicious and pointed. And I don't buy that was just naivety.
I honestly don't believe it was either. However,
it would be like if she had said, "Hey, yeah, let me do this lie detector test," and she's like, "No, I didn't have anything to do with it."
Right.
But the fact that she's like, "No, I'm gonna pass." No, that's fucked.
I mean, looking in on the case, like, what would you think? It's just there's a lot of signs that point to she knew what was going on, and for whatever reason, she didn't stop it. I couldn't tell you, but it's just not great.
No.
Not fucking great at all. Mm-hmm.
What a bummer.
Yeah, it's a case I really wanted to do because I feel like it's one that doesn't get talked about enough in terms of... There's a lot of helicopter parenting, so it's about deciding what is just something simple, like letting your child play in the fenced yard, but being sure that they don't talk to strangers and they know the protocol and they know the dangers of it. Because I was raised watching America's Most Wanted and, like, you know, all of those shows when I was, like, 10, 11, because my mom was like, you never do this. You got to be smart about it. Like, she didn't let me be alone at the mall till I was, like, 14 or some shit.
Right.
Which is, whatever, like, I get it now. And there's a whole difference between that and just, like, yeah, go ahead, take my child for an overnight visit.
Yeah, Mr. Janitor, take my daughter for a month.
Doctor, janitor, Tatum.
Oh,
Thank you.
Right. Doctor, Janitor Tatum.
Did they type this up, or did they, like, write it on, like, a piece of notebook paper?
I can't help but picture, like just a torn piece of, like
did
paper
they
from a
steal?
composition book in, like, crayon.
Like, did they buy a doctor's pad somewhere? Did they steal it? Like, and I'm not saying any one of these things is exactly what happened, but I want to know what this doctor's note looked like.
I imagine.
Did they type it on that laptop?
I imagine doctor was probably spelled Dokter. Like, I imagine it was not convincing, and they were just like, oh, I mean, I guess we gotta take it.
I would like to give the school a little bit more credit, because I think they were curious, but maybe legally they couldn't do anything yet.
Yeah.
And that's why they were like, hey, we're going to talk to this person because this is the legal step that we have to take. I want to give more credit to the school, although it did take a while. Because especially since the mom cooperated in this, that's when the alarm bells are like, what the fuck? But
no, you're right.
Just, oh, Jesus Christ.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So I think we're going to end on that note, but... Jesus, the world is so fucked up. But I want to mention our Patreon. The link on Dear Friends Dead Ends Pod, which is our Instagram, that link has all of the links that you need. That's on the profile page. It's got our Patreon on it. We have 3 $5 and $10 tiers. Any one of them, if you want to donate to us, would be great. We really do appreciate it. I know I put a lot of research in. I put a lot of heart into it when I do these cases and when I cover them. And we do make jokes, but I promise you... What?
Are you implying I don't?
I was going to let you talk next.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Continue.
I'm sorry.
I'm not defensive at all.
Are you all in your feelings? Like, Jesus.
Maybe.
So, if you want to put anything towards it, that's totally cool. Once we have 5 people that are doing either the $5 or the $10 tiers, or even 5 Patreon or patrons in general, we'll probably
start... It has to be 5 or more.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Amanda. Cody literally just made that decision. But either way, we'll start doing those really in-depth cases like the Jean Benet. And I'm not talking about like one episode. I want to break it down into like 10 fucking episodes with the Jean Benet case because, if we're going to do it, we are going to go through it. I have a webpage that I'm going to read that's very extensive. We're going to break it down like you hear very seldom about it, like details. So,
all right, fair enough.
Because I think that's what you deserve. If you're paying the $5 and $10, you deserve an in-depth delve into it. Go ahead, Cody. What's your pitch?
I don't actually have anything. I just thought you were throwing shade at me, and I got mad.
Yes, rate, review.
Support us. Find us on Patreon. Find me on OnlyFans. Raccoons held my nipples.
And then bleach your eyeballs afterwards. He will sell the bleach also.
Nope. So if you were a lot of you are already subscribed to my OnlyFans, and if you saw my tramp stamp that says "Dear Friends, Dead Ends," and that's why you're
Fucking
listening,
hate you.
let us know in the review. I appreciate it.
No, but seriously, if anyone is listening and you saw me in Florida with my mask on and that's what made you listen, even if you don't want to leave a review, we would love it if you did. Please DM the podcast. Let me know that it did work because you did listen, because it does help give feedback as far as to let me know that we need to do those things. I'm going to get Cody a hat that he can wear and he'll have it on there. Yeah.
It's going to have to be a big fucking hat.
Mm-hmm.
No, do leave a review.
He's very
only
picky.
5 stars.
Oh, did I tell you?
We deserve the best,
God damn it.
goddammit.
But I'm so sorry. So I came up with a logo idea for us. I have to talk to Sarah about it. I thought we could do like a question mark, right? And it would be like my hair like flowing and then like your bald head at the bottom.
That's
I came up
fucking
with that
incredible.
in Florida of all places. And I was like, I need to remember to tell him. Please tell her.
Is so goddamn great.
And then it'd have your beard.
Oh shit, I can picture it too. It's so good.
We need to be institutionalized. Fuck.
Huh. Oh, I'm trying to think of like how we can.
Yeah.
We'll make that work. That's fucking great.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, cool. All right, so remember,
Rate us good.
just rate us good. We
Don't
deserve
rate us
it.
well. Rate us
We're
good.
Trying. Rate us good.
Rate us gooder.
Rate us best. Remember, I didn't really have anything to say. I just said remember and was hoping something would come to me.
Jesus loves
And it
you.
didn't. So here we are. Is this the end of the
for sure
episode?
it's done. Okay.
This
All right.
feels like
Thank
the
you
end
guys
of
so
the
much for
episode.
listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.